At first blush, you might suspect Recovery of an MMO Junkie to be a usual otaku bait romp. Cute girls make up a portion of the eclectic cast, the narrative centralizes around an MMORPG, something particularly popular with anime fans due to the community overlap with gaming. Also, the sheer amount of trapped in a game world stories currently populating the scene lends this to the initial belief. One that MMO Junkie is throwaway, indistinguishable in a crowd of a million similar creations. While it most certainly is lighthearted, that doesn't stop it from also touching on more intimate material. Something is wrong with Moriko Morioka's life. If you were walking down the street and saw her, you'd think, how could this be? We first see her returning home one night. She's pretty, makeup carefully done, wears office-appropriate attire, suggesting she has a stable job. In her arms are a bouquet of flowers, meaning she may have a successful romantic life too. When she cracks open the door to her tiny Tokyo apartment, we see the full picture. A solemn tadaima spills out from her unenthusiastic face to not a single person or pet. She glares across the empty, pristine room with dead silence, which is broken by her tossing the fresh bouquet into the garbage. She removes the scrunchie keeping her hair up and plops face first onto her bed, clearly both physically and mentally exhausted from work. Her face emerges from the pillow, a sigh comes forth, and the empty room spirals. We've all had this moment, especially those of us past high school. Personally, I've done this far too many times than I care to count. It's a sigh of defeat for Morika. Clearly unhappy with her station in life but has no one to share her frustrations with. We soon learn why she was carrying flowers. Upon her alarm stirring Morika from her bed, she jumps up as if she were late, only to express she no longer has to go in. Shortly thereafter, she's wearing loose clothes and looks like a mess with bags under her eyes, unkempt eyebrows, and she slumps over her computer. It's hard to get an exact time frame of how long it's been. Clearly she's been transitioning into this lifestyle before quitting though. The flowers are still in the garbage can and she looks visibly more antisocial. Bags of trash are piled up in the corner. Though Morika does explain that this elite, neat life of hers is only a recent development, a testament to how clearly she has been tired of the standard 9 to 5 for quite some time. This drastic step, some might view as a downgrade, has most certainly been premeditated. I mentioned in my Made in Abyss video how I'm a sucker for a good tune, but sometimes no music can be just as poignant. During these first several minutes, there is no backing OST to speak of, just the ambient sound of feet shuffling, a low electronic humming, and the noise of nature and the city outside. Highlighting this is key because there are no sweeping emotions to be felt, no happy melodies to prop up the colorful visuals, nothing that could fit the emptiness Morika sees as her existence other than the equally empty audio of her apartment.
ただいま。
Unlike Log Horizon or other MMO-centric anime, this is less about the game which the characters partake in. Fruits to Mer is made out to be a generic fantasy MMORPG because it isn't all that important. What the show hangs its hat on are the social bonds we form while gaming. The virtual world is visually appealing, but it never overpowers the characters. The camera often takes angles you'd not get from a game of this sort. Morika and those she meets, all of their avatars are made to feel just as alive as the people playing them. This adeptly blends the reality of Fruits de Mer in a way that vibes with Morika's unbalanced lifestyle. This is reinforced by her meeting with Lily. The fluffy pink-haired maid speaks little of the mechanics when her and Morika's character Hayashi first meet. Rather, what she enjoys and what she wants to share with Hayashi are the people she'll encounter and the journeys they'll have together. Even when Lily is taking pride in teaching Hayashi the ins and outs, the focus never shifts from the duo's relationship. This is also punctuated lightly by humorous reactions Morika has to her male character interacting with the adorable Lily. The glow of her monitors serving as the only light source brightly shining upon her slovenly hermit face, with the upbeat adventuring music of the game cutting out or being heavily turned down in the mix to focus on Morika's fixation with the world her PC displays to her in the dead of night. Back to the matter of how Morika portrays herself online. This builds more in the latter episodes, but it's still important here. It teaches teases the audience into wondering how deep will this theme go. Will it continue to be jokes like how Morika's poor social skills with Lily means she'll never lose her virginity as a man? Or will it continue down the path that is mentioned by the guild leader, that people play games to be something other than themselves? There are a plethora of reasons for this, and you shouldn't assume otherwise. In some cases, possibly Lily's as well as Morika's, games are a way to get away from the stresses of life, or they can serve to experience a perspective different from your own. In PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, choosing your character's sex might seem irrelevant. There are no gameplay benefits, but I made my character female, specifically Asian, and have been striving towards dressing her in a combination of a school uniform and a yellow tracksuit, all to embrace the battle royale fantasy as one of my favorite characters from the film, Chigusa. The conversation around gender is handled surprisingly well. The first episode doesn't dive deep, but it shows narrative chops to not only respectfully joke about the matter, but suggest it might also have some interesting commentary down the road, thanks in part to Morika's lovable slob nature as a NEET, rather than the obnoxious sexual creep that so many protagonists of similar shows turn out to be. She's not leering or pervy, she's us. The person that opts to marathon the second season of Stranger Things in a single day while scarfing down an entire DiGiorno of frozen pizza, a McGriddle, 2 cheeseburgers, large fries, and a root beer. Not that I would know any such beast. MMO Junkie does a really good job of blending settings for an exaggerated effect, making it feel like a true adventure between good friends in an actual fantasy world. But still, it keeps enough of a mechanical nature that you can look at the show mid-episode with no prior knowledge and tell there is a distinct game influence. For example, the appearance of the Christmas decorations during the sea anemone scene are 100% in line with how games take on seasonal events. MMO Junkie is chock full of stuff resonating with me, even simple references like the one seen here, a clear reference to the hobbit holes of Hobbiton from Tolkien's Middle-earth. In this first episode, there was plenty of fluffy anime you would expect from a million other shows. The difference here is it all lends itself to a bigger picture. At the time of this upload, 6 of 10 episodes have aired, something I think Climax Junkies are not going to appreciate given the pacing. You can tell there's a deeper plot, but the show gets around to it in a leisurely fashion, because MMO Junkie isn't plot heavy. But if a more casual and a less far depressing Welcome to the NHK sounds interesting, well-crafted material is there from the very first episode. As always, like, subscribe, all that nonsense, it is very much appreciated. I do try to get up a video per week. I'm not a professional though, so don't hold me to it. Though hey, maybe I will be someday if you continue to support me.